Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. It is the last show before Christmas, or if you're Jewish, it's in the middle of Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, happy holidays. I'm Peter Brown, and it's I almost said it's Wednesday. It's Sunday, so that means football. Miami TV weekly. I'm a little thrown off here for some odd reason, but the guy that's going to keep me on track and help me move the show along and stay focused. Please welcome in our favorite uncle, Uncle Ed.
Well, you best recognize, Peter Brown, I'm going to keep you on track.
Yeah, and you notice I called you our favorite uncle. I called you our favorite uncle because, as we know, there are many other uncles that like to call this show. There sure are.
So I'm wondering if some of these are going to call during this show live. Is there somebody that sent in a message?
I mean, there's been, I'll put up the phone number right now in case anybody wants to call in tonight at 786-474-4435. We do have one voicemail from One World, One Goal. No, we haven't heard from Uncle Ned yet, which I think his tagline, his tagline was like, America's Uncle?
Something like that. And there's also that other guy, that feisty Uncle Ted.
Uncle Ted,
who hasn't called us in a few weeks, so maybe he's going to call us.
Yeah, but you are our favorite uncle.
Of course, the original Uncle Ed.
There you go. Well, we have a lot to talk about tonight, Ed. A whole bunch to talk about. Things from Diego Alonso. Is he fired or is he not fired? Does he have a job? I mean, everybody at this point knows the story and knows pretty much what happened. We'll give our opinions on it, and of course, we want your opinions on that as well.
In good Miami fashion, it's a lot of drama.
Drama filled. The drama's for real in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like a soap opera, man. This place is, it's like a good Latin, city. A lot of drama.
Yeah, we got one new signing. We'll talk about that. And then there's, just other, the potential new signing, potentially, a big name is being bandied about for. So we'll get into all that tonight. But before we do all that, we do want to say a thank you to our sponsor, Caneswear. Caneswear, let me take off the phone number because that is not Caneswear's phone number. That is our phone number. And so there you go, Caneswear. Caneswear is one of the best places, the best place in South Florida to get all your Inter Miami gear. And what I love to see now is I'm seeing other people catching on and promoting Caneswear on Facebook, not because there's any kind of relationship, just because they know the deal. They know what's up. They know that the best place to go and get your Inter Miami stuff is at Caneswear in Davie. If you want to go to the store, or you can go to caneswear.com, and they've always got good sales, lots of stuff. And I can't wait. Till the new gear comes in. And then we can go and do another video in the store and showing off all the new gear, which should come in sometime, February, March, at least before March, right? Because the season's in March. So thanks, Caneswear, and everybody check it out.
Oh yeah, and please do, because I've already done a lot of Christmas shopping online because it's a little far from me, so it works out just fine and dandy, guys, and go ahead and support Caneswear. They support us, so we appreciate everything they do, and buy some good Inter Miami gear.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Hey, Ed, before we get going on all the juicy stuff, why don't we say hello to a few people?
Certainly. Well, here we go, Peter Brown. Let's see. I got on a little bit late because I forgot my password. I was telling Peter off camera, that I had all my passwords, and I don't remember all of them. So it's, I'm going to have to ask Peter to help me out with that a little later on.
That's what I'm here for.
Futbol Miami TV one, yeah. But anyways, hello to Jose Velasquez.
And in all honesty, that's why Ed keeps me around, because, I know passwords.
And Peter's very organized, thank goodness, because as you can tell, I'm not. So, if it wasn't for Peter, we would have lost all these passwords a long time ago. But anyways, we said hello to Jose Velasquez first. Our good friend B King is also on here saying hello for the holidays. Judge Dredd the Law, of course, always here to lay down the law. We also have Jazz Fusion on here, also saying hello for the holidays. Kevin Gonzalez, one more person that says hello for the holidays. And of course, One World, One Goal. She's always leaving us messages. He's one of the people we've known for the longest, supporting back in the Fusion days and still supporting now our Inter Miami. And we've got Choopy. How you doing, Choopy? Good seeing you, bud. Jet Pancake, one of Peter's favorite names. And I think we got Ethan Singh, who's also in here. How you doing, Ethan? And that's it for now, Peter. We'll say hello to more people down the road.
All right. One World, One Goal is saying, you forgot to tweet this on Futbol Miami, and I did not retweet due to the graphic. Huh. So she's got an issue with my thumbnail, and I know she talks about it in the voicemail that she left. So we'll get to that in just a minute.
Wow.
And
well, that's something.
One World, One Goal also appreciates your shirt and mine as well, Uncle Ed.
Oh, nice.
I'm on the Christmas festive mood, little R2D2 Christmas wrap.
Yeah, look at you. That's something we could talk about, Peter, right there. And I'm sure you saw The Mandalorian.
Did you watch it?
Oh man, of course I watched it.
Whew, man, that show. Here's the thing is, look, there's some Star Wars fans that are anti-Disney, right? They don't like anything that Disney's done since they got the licensing, they bought Lucasfilm. But I like the new movies. I think they're fine. But Mandalorian is what the fans have wanted. It's one of those things where they're paying tribute to the old while welcoming new. Right. So they handled that big reveal, and I won't say it because it's gonna, I don't want to, get in trouble with anybody. But the big reveal, 2 big reveals or whatever, it's like gold for Star Wars fans. It was just like, that's how you do it. You bring in some new content, but then you also pay homage and respect to the old. Man, they did it right.
They did, and this whole season was really good. I mean, it was just one thing after another. A new character, popping up here. Next episode, another character. So, the finale, I was just like, yes, it was like the best thing ever, man.
And I said I would not spoil it, but meanwhile, Judge Dredd is already spoiling it. Dan Destroyer 21, who's in here, also is saying that I gotta spoil it, or maybe he's talking to Judge Dredd. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but. Judge, I'm not going to put up Judge's comment because he's already spoiled it in the chat. But that's just one one of the 2 reveals that I thought was really awesome. So, and super cool.
It was huge.
Judge Dredd says, "Yep, spoiling it. Don't people get sensitive about that. Look, I'm not super sensitive about it because you could spoil it for me and I'll still enjoy it. Because they're but. And people are super sensitive about that kind of stuff, so you don't want to spoil things. But
that's true. And I like
all right,
I'm having a little
working
difficulties here.
Jose Velasquez was shocked, as I think a lot of people were. That's why, to me, I'm like, give Jon Favreau the keys to the Lucasfilm kingdom. Him and Dave Filoni. See, here's the thing: if you're not a super Star Wars geek, you don't know all this. But Dave Filoni is the guy that did the Clone Wars animated series and Rebels animated series. He was hired by George Lucas. He was like a little protege, basically, for George Lucas. He worked hand in hand with George Lucas for a long time, and now he's still with the Lucasfilm, the company. And then you got Jon Favreau, who just is a great director. And all that kind of stuff. You put one guy, the super uber Star Wars geek, who still knows film and knows good stories, and you put him together with Jon Favreau, who knows special effects and knows how to do big budget things and knows how to make a good movie, and put those 2 guys in charge of the entire Star Wars kingdom, and you think you'll make most Star Wars fans happy.
And there's so much more stuff that has been announced, Peter. There's so many shows that are going to keep on going that. Maybe we should open up another channel, or at least, or maybe, I don't know. We couldn't really use Football Miami TV, but something else.
You could
Geek
do
Zone or something.
you could use the same channel and just say like, soccer nerds talk, geeks stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, because we can call it the Geek Zone or something like that.
Yeah. Adam C says get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. So
it's a lot of people saying that. There's a lot of people saying that.
Well, there was a point where everybody thought she was out, and that didn't happen. I think at one point she got her.
People were happy.
She got her. Hey, look, if she's the one that got brought in, Jon Favreau, then maybe she's got something, worth.
Right,
Maybe there's something for her. Anyways, all right. Ed, I think I could do this all night. We could do an entire episode where we dissect the entire season 2. Because what's weird is season 2 is season 1 was great, and sometimes you go your second season, there's a drop off. Right. I think second season was better. It was better, and
I can't wait to the third season, man, because there's so much stuff they could talk about.
But now there's there's new questions. Like so people are wondering is because apparently there's some rumors that Pedro Pascal, the guy that plays Mandalorian, was not happy with season 2 with the fact that he has to wear his helmet all the time and was complaining about it. And so there's talk about there not being a season 3 with him, and that maybe Boba Fett would be season 3. But but that's been debunked. Pedro Pascal came out and said that's all fake news, and that any Boba Fett thing will be its own thing. So
and now the Mandalorian group is established, so they might go back to the planet and try to take it back. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, so much good stuff.
I can't wait. I can't wait till next season. But anyways, yes.
So let's start off with One World, One Goals voicemail, just because I know she'll hit on a couple things, but also she hits on my thumbnails. Let's talk about that.
Hey, Peter and everybody, it's One World, One Goal, Martika. Listen, my friend, please change that graphic. We cannot throw Senor Mas under the bus. He's been a fantastic owner. We're glad to have him. And we don't know who made the miscommunication. Maybe it was a video call that Beckham was on with this guy, in which case, Alonso, in which case they're not going to throw Beckham under the bus. Or maybe Paul McDonough is still running as interim, helping them in this transition. Maybe he did a little sabotage. I don't know. I'm not accusing anybody, but we don't know that it was Moss. And, I really think that once he gets in charge of the branding and the marketing, we're going to do great. We love Beckham, but the branding they used in LA, it's just for their brand and everything works fabulous, but it's just not what works in Miami. That's our whole point. Now, you look at the mayor of Miami, Mayor Suarez, he's single-handedly recruiting a lot of tech companies to come from California and other places. And a lot of people are moving here now because of all the remote, and trying to create a big tech park with the new stadium is looking really good. And so that's very, very positive news. Plus, they did submit some plans for the special planning SPA, whatever it's called, on my birthday, actually, in June. So that, if you look at that proposal, that whole stadium, hotel, tech park, walking open air mall, huge, park for the public, is absolutely a fantastic home run. No pun intended with the baseball pitches. So vamos Miami. Thanks, bye.
So, Ed, she had a problem with my thumbnail. She's afraid that we're throwing Jorge Mas under the bus. I mean,
well, Peter, I can see how there could be that miscommunication.
Sure.
I think they probably just came out and said, "Look, we're disappointed with everything that's happened this year. We expected to go farther along. We had the players. We had we should have done better." I think they were just, so, Debbie Downer. They were so Debbie Downer that it got to the point where they probably never said, you're okay, we're keeping you. They probably said something about Paul not coming back. So, and that's probably where the miscommunication happened. They were probably going back and forth, English and Spanish. That doesn't help.
See, here's how I imagine happening, and I put Jorge Mas in there for a reason. He is the managing partner for the club, so the buck stops with him. He is the boss for this club. Since we got another voicemail. He is the boss for this club. He represents the ownership group. That includes Beckham. So I imagine he's in there in that meeting, and I imagine it's Spanish. Who knows if Paul's in there? Why even bring Paul in there? If Paul's leaving, there's no point in him being in the meeting. So I imagine
it should have been Spanish.
It's Jorge Mas, and it's probably in Spanish. And my big question is, how do you let Diego Alonso leave this meeting unsure? Like,
he's fired.
How does that meeting go down, Ed? I mean, like, I yell at you, say, Ed, this is not the season we were looking for. I think you let us down. Some of your calls were off. I understand it's COVID and this kind of stuff, and
but I'm very disappointed in you. And click.
Well, no, but
that's the only way I can think.
Aren't they doing this in person?
I don't know. Maybe they're doing it, trying to do the whole COVID thing on video call, and
maybe
he probably just said, I'm disappointed. I don't know what we're going to do, Nick. I don't know what we're going to do. And, if it were up to me, you wouldn't come back next year. Click. I don't know. It should have been much more.
Okay, so but then you've got a problem with whoever delivered that message, whether it be Jorge Mas, whether it be Beckham, whether it be Paul McDonough. You got a problem with whoever delivered the message, because if I'm sitting in this meeting and I'm getting dressed down, because that's what has to have happened, right? If you walk out of that meeting thinking you were fired, then the meeting must have gone kind of ugly, like something around, I don't even know if you're part of our future. I mean, it has to have been somewhat pointed. Otherwise, you're going to feel okay. But the fact that he went out of this meeting and even went walking out, I just imagine this happening, right? So hang up from the call or in the meeting, and I imagine it's in the building, that he's at least in the building, right? Because it said he spoke. The reports were that he spoke to some staff and players and told them that he was fired. So he's walking through. He's gotten off this call, or he's walked out of the conference room, whatever the situation is, and he's like, well, I'm done. All right. Susan, my
Billy Bob, it was good to hanging out with you, but you make some good calls.
Walking by. Chris, see you later, Chris. It's been nice working with you. What is he walking out with, like a box? Do I have a box? Like, here, this will be representing my box. Here's my colored markers that I'm walking out with. I'm walking out with my colored markers, like doody 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 doo. And I got my
walking
box
out with his remote control and. Not going to be able to use that. Happens to pass by a few players along the way. Goes, well, guys, I'm going to need this. I'm going to need my phone. I got some Gatorade. I'm going to need Gatorade. And, let me take my computer.
Walking out with a big box full of stuff, of no trophies in that box, but walking out with a box
that he got in Mexico. But I'm sure he didn't take him to.
Not here. Nothing here. I just, he walks by a few players saying, see you later, guys. It was nice working with you. Nice. Adios, amigos. I know that's very generic and wrong, but, it's just, I don't. So how far does he get out of the building before somebody goes, whoa, stop, Diego, stop. You still got a job.
I think he left the building, went home, and on the way home he's making some phone calls because he actually got an offer from another team,
right?
And that's public.
Yeah, exactly. It made public that Penarol, and I know I'm saying it wrong. It's Peñarol. How do you properly? Peñarol. It's easier to just say Penarol. But
he sounds like it sounds like it's something that's subscribed to you or something. It's medicine the way you say it.
Yeah, well, I got sick this weekend and I had to go and get a shot of Penarol, And it
There you go.
cleared it right up, Ed. It cleared it right up. No more problems. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
actually, some of our earlier videos had Pay No Raw. I can't say it, Ed. And Ricky Ricardo doing some interviews and stuff like that. It was some. We had some pretty good videos. It got a lot of views on some of those. So they're definitely a big club in Uruguay, and they contacted apparently Diego and said, we want you.
Yeah, if you're available, hey man, come back home. We got your back. So that kind of gives them some good leverage, because the team now knows, oops, we screwed up or whatever, and some drama got out there, and now this guy is wanted by somebody else, so he's got some leverage there. He's like, okay, well, you guys really don't want me, I got somewhere to go. I can, they'll take me. So what do you think is going to happen, Peter? They already, retracted and said that that he wasn't fired. But at this point, all the drama that's created, is it worth even keeping him? Would you keep him?
Well, and they also said in that release that his situation or his future is undetermined. I think I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was something about whether they're still unsure if he'll be back next year. So he's still a team employee, but who knows his future? And there's really been no official comment from Jorge Mas. And Jorge Mas came out and commented about other things, about the new signing that we'll talk about in a couple minutes. But, he didn't come out and say anything about this. And, I mean, we look terrible. We look terrible, all across the internets. I was reading comments. A lot of people felt like, if Miami is going to fire him, we're awful, right? Because as much as the fans down here, I saw plenty of fans down here going, fine, see you later, hasta la vista, bye. And but the national media is more caring than we are, and the national media was like, man, Miami's cutthroat. They don't care. They went through COVID. They didn't organize the team. And they're not his players. All this stuff. He didn't get a fair shot. And here they are. They're kicking him out the door. But to your point, Ed, this is now public. So what does that do to the locker room? Does he now at this point lose the locker room? Because he's kind of like a dead man walking, right? If he has any time at all, and this is the point. It's funny is Big O last week gave me a hard time, gave us a hard time about some of this stuff. But I mentioned that Diego is on thin ice, and then literally the next day or the 2 days later, this comes out. So if he's retained and doesn't win within the first quarter of the season, 3-4 games, first 3-4 games, he's out. And so the players know this. I think at this point, you almost have to. And here's the thing: is Penarol gave us an out. They can allow us, as in us being the front office. I mean, us being fans. But he can allow Jorge Mas to save a little face because no, we didn't fire him. That was a misunderstanding. But he is getting another job offer, and we wish him the best of luck.
That's the way out right there. I mean, everybody's going to be happy. A lot of people are happy. Were happy when they heard that he was going to be out. I don't think it's fair because, like you said, COVID happened. It wasn't his team. He didn't form it. I think he didn't really build this team. Right. So if this drama wouldn't have happened, I think he would have had, a chance to, the whole season to try to, make this team what he wants the team to be.
And the guy the guy that runs Penarol over there, I'm not sure if it was a general manager, the club president, or I don't know exactly. I don't remember. But the guy in charge over there says he will basically move mountains to get Alonso. So Miami could make money at this if this guy's willing to do whatever it takes to get Alonso. He said he's told Alonso he's always wanted him. Alonso played there and he's previously coached there in the past. So yeah, I think at this point you let him go. But here's the problem. And this kind of goes to here. One World, One Goal says, hey, remember I said we need the coach, GM, and new players by December 1st as January 10th reopens. So much for that. And I doubted that would happen when she made that comment just because of the club history. Does that so far, short history, but does everything kind of Miami time.
Yeah, they need to start doing these things now because we have a small core of players already that are coming back, apparently. With a notable absence that Peter Brown, I know he's crying about, not mentioning names, Sweat. So, there's a base of players already there that whoever comes in, the coach could start forming his new team. And I think it's important for him to start, whoever the coach is, to start working now because time is ticking. And what happened last time, man. It was
and
disaster.
That's why I said, and I don't know if I said this on the show or if I said this in a chat with Yumi and Eric, that 2021 I think is going to look very similar to 2020. Don't expect miracles. Don't expect this team to all of a sudden be good. For one, we've got a lot of contracts that Paul McDonough put us in. People aren't happy with Pellegrini, Carranza, Higuain, one or two, Pizarro. I mean, you name it. These players that may be good, but they didn't have a good season. So we're still stuck with all them because we put too much money into them. They're still going to be here. We're still stuck with them. So you can't just turn the roster over because, all the breaks that they got, all the extra money that they got in season one, they don't have in season two because expansion teams get a bunch of extra money. And that's what just happened this past week. So when in the expansion draft. So, we don't have that extra money. So you can't just all of a sudden fix your roster. And now we're in the same kind of boat as we were last year. Last season, it was the coach that was hired late. Well, now it's the GM that's going to be hired late. The guy that's going to help pull the strings to make these trades and these improvements that we want. And maybe we're out of a coach. We're screwed.
It's we kind of are, Peter, and time is ticking, and we need to start forming that team up. And let's see what. Hopefully, I don't think we're gonna have a problem doing these shows because every week there seems to be some type of thing that's happening. So
thank you,
and we were kind of worried. We're like, oh man, what are we gonna talk about? We were thinking about taking a break because for the holidays, but that's not happening. Nah, apparently.
Well, and in years past when we used to do Ultras Live, the podcast, we did take a 2-week break during the holidays, but and luckily the holidays aren't on Sunday. So Christmas is on Friday. Thursday's Christmas Eve. So same thing with New Year's. So we're still clear to do a show on Sunday. And there's plenty to talk about. And I have a lot of bullet points over here of other things to talk about. But I could spend more time on communication. And again, it goes back to look. One World, One Goal last week was complaining that, and Big O took umbrage to this, about the communication from the club. So that's, not doing enough videos or not doing whatever was important to her. But the point was she had an issue with the communication and the marketing and so on and so forth. And quite often communication is hard. This club likes to wrap it up tight and not tell anybody anything. They keep it tight and they keep people at arm's length. I mean, we've had a hard time getting in. Right. So it's communication has not been the best for this club from the beginning, but it's an even bigger issue when you have a one-on-one meeting. I assume one-on-one, maybe two or three people there with him, but you have a meeting with your coach and he leaves there unsure. Or no, I'm saying he was sure. He was confident he was fired. but he
Right.
wasn't. So I just
Now,
I don't.
what I'm
I
wondering,
don't.
Peter, we were talking about all the contracts and stuff. I think one of the things that most of us fans want to happen today or yesterday is for them to renegotiate Pellegrini's contract, because I think with what he did last year, he doesn't deserve to be, one of our top players, one of our marquee players.
I agree. And if they have a TAM, that's how you do that. You buy down the contract with some TAM money. He could still make the same money or similar money. He's under contract, so but maybe they lengthen it with a longer. They spread out the money over more years. I don't know, but they could definitely buy it down with TAM. But hey, Ed, we've got another voicemail. So why don't we
let's get
to this one?
Good evening, boys and girls. This is America's Uncle Ned.
America's.
Fam. Damn. Well, Uncle Ned was pretty busy, man, dropping people off at the airport. But I got to be honest, Uncle Ned's got to be honest, man. I'm getting tired of dropping people off at the airport. I didn't expect to possibly get a call to drop off Diego Alonso off at the airport. This team, man, I don't know what to say about this team. It's the communication is not that good, and last week I talked about partnerships with the fans, and the partnership is not going as well as we would like it to go. So I'll keep this short and brief. Nicky Budulic, if that's going to be our GM,
could be.
We're in big trouble, guys. Nicky Budulic pretty much ran Orlando City, for those who don't know, and he pretty much ran Orlando City into the ground. They progressively got worse every single year as far as their standings in the Eastern Conference. So if that's going to be our guy, woo, we in bad trouble. So, and Uncle Ned was getting desperate. I was even thinking about flying to wherever Tubby was at and picking him back up and then taking him back to South Florida. So that's how bad it is. But I'm praying for this club. We got tons of potential, but we're in trouble when even during expansion draft this past, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, they had the expansion draft for Austin FC, and we didn't make a move. All you had to do is pick up the phone as the GM and say, hey, I'm willing to give you this much money in GAM for if you get this player for us, and, we'll make a deal. They didn't even do that. So whoever's at the switch, boy, oh boy, you need to wake the hell up, because this team as presently constituted is in really, really bad shape. We got players, we got stars, we got the highest payroll, but boy, we're in shape. If we're not in good shape if we can't put a team around Gonzalo Higuain, Blaise Matuidi, Lewis Morgan, and Rodolfo Pizarro, and get some left back and a right back for Gal and LGP. All right. Anyway, Feliz Navidad, Familia. I love all you guys, and this is Uncle Ned, America's favorite uncle, signing out. Peace.
America's favorite uncle, Ed.
Wow. Yeah, he took that one from me. So, Miami's favorite uncle.
Yeah. You're our favorite. You're our favorite uncle. But yeah. And I'll be honest, he left another one, so we gotta have to go to his second voicemail as well. But Uncle Ned is taking it upon himself to be the team Uber. It sounds like dropping people off on their way out of town, dropping them off to the airport. And I wonder, did Uncle Ned get a call from Alonso himself saying, "Hey, Uncle Ned, can you come and pick me up, brother? I need a ride." And then somebody else in the front office going, "Hey, whoa, Uncle Ned, cancel that. He's still working here."
He might be the official chauffeur of Inter Miami, and we just don't know it.
Right? Do we have an in with a chauffeur of Miami?
That's kind of cool.
Eric Thomas says, "No, Ed, you're Dural's favorite uncle." Damn. boxing you
Wow,
in,
he's just,
boxing you in. I
yeah,
mean,
he's just making a smaller community. No, man,
yeah.
the whole South Florida's uncle. There we go.
So what do you think, Ed, about his comments about the fact that no trades were made during the expansion draft, no effort was made to pick up one of those players if any of them were of interest.
Well, Peter, it wasn't a big draft like it was, last season when there were two teams coming in at the same time. There was a lot more negotiating that could have been made, because of that. This year it was only Austin was coming in. I think they're looking at the bigger picture. I think with the other drafts that are coming, and they need to start making moves once other players start being available. We already know the players that the teams are basically going to try to protect. There's a long list. There's some decent players that we could pick up, but we're not going to be doing that until we get somebody in that front office that's going to start making those phone calls and starting to make those things happen. I mean, we do know that Jorge Mas, thanks to Tubby, is now way better informed about all the rules of MLS. So now he's aware of how everything not everything, but mostly aware of how the thing works. So, but I think he still doesn't know everything.
He doesn't know enough to be calling the shots. He knows enough. His job, Jorge Mas's job, is to hire the guy that knows, and
pulls the trigger.
It probably is more useful, no disrespect, but probably more experience and everything on the business side. So if he's really going to help out and jump in more, I would imagine to be more on the business side of things, which is still different because it's sports and it's very different than his regular business. But the player that was Austin FC acquired Kamal Miller from Orlando City, and pretty good player. And Montreal picked him up from Austin for $225,000 in general allocation money and a first round pick. So Kamal Miller is a pretty good player. He's a Canadian guy, so it makes sense that he's going back to Canada. Wouldn't have cost that much for Inter Miami to give that a shot, but you don't know. Maybe Inter Miami made an effort, but that was the one trade that went down. But I saw one comment here. He says Eric Thomas says Uncle Ned only got down to Philadelphia and then had to make a U-turn and head back home. Damn, that Jorge Mas. So he did start, had to start heading back down. All right, let's listen to his second follow-up. He forgot something, I guess, and wanted to add to his comment.
One more thing, Uncle Ned. This is Uncle Ned, America's favorite uncle. One more thing. Is it me or am I the only one that thinks that Diego Alonso crafted this thing so that he can find his way and out of Inter Miami? Personally, I think that he may have tried to position himself as being on the way out when no such thing was ever said to him, but he was saying that specifically to try to force Inter Miami's hand so that he can get, say it with me, Peter, Peñarol, get Peñarol to hire him, okay? So he, you ain't slick, Diego. Uncle Ned is up. Uncle Ned is on you. Uncle Ned's been on this earth for a long time. I see what you're doing, Diego. You're not slick. He's trying to create a buzz so that he can find his way out of Inter Miami. He's not trying to get fired out, which is smart. So, he doesn't want to get fired during the middle of the season next year because he knows that this team is probably not going to be that good. So he probably knows that the team will probably let him go during the middle of the season. But to avoid all of that, he's getting a jump on it and trying to weasel his way out now. And that way he has a nice cushy job with Peñarol. Yeah, you ain't slick, Diego. Anyway, love you guys, and Feliz Navidad. Bye.
So saying that Diego Alonso is the mastermind behind all this drama. I mean, that's taking it to that next level, Uncle Ned.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's an interesting,
That'd be devious.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the case, man. I really don't think he was, doing that. But yeah, the Uncle Ned is a devious person, man. Think about that.
Yeah. One World, One Gold is pleading with us to please extract Jorge Mas out from under that bus, my friends. I mean, One World, One Goal. He's driving the bus. I mean, he's the managing partner. So buck stops there. He's done a lot. Hey, look, at the end of the day, we're complaining and all this kind of stuff and having some fun with us because we love the team, and he's done a lot of great things. And
yes, he has. So, thanks to him, we're we have a team, and we're happy because of that. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna call him out if we see things that aren't going the way we want to go. We want a winning team. We're going to be complaining no matter what, unless we get a championship. So,
yeah, and
it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I'm looking for a comment from that Footballer had. Here he goes. Footballer says, I've been listening in the background with all this drama, but all this drama will turn off more fans in the end. It only means there is a mess on the top which trickles down, and that's never a good thing. Agreed. So while this drama for me, I giggle at a lot of it and I have fun with it because I think sometimes the off season is more exciting than the season. This kind of stuff can be fun. Man. Well, even if the team has good leadership, still the wheeling and the dealing and all that kind of stuff, it's fun. I think that's fun. But this definitely, here's the thing: is not only will it turn off fans, but what about other players? So you want to go out into the world market and you want to pick up players from all around the world, such as the rumored Sergio Romero. But and we could talk about that if you want, Ed. But how are you going to convince all these big name players to come here when you're a mess in the front office? I mean, you're going to get a bad reputation. Beckham's name can only take you so far.
That's true. Sir, I don't know about a goalkeeper though, Peter. That's just, I don't think that's the guy.
I'm reading reports. They're all over the place that 33-year-old Manchester United goalkeeper is Beckham wants him here. So he's obviously he would have to be a DP, right? I mean, I looked up the value for him. He's valued at $2.2 million.
Wow. If they could bring him down and maybe use the Pellegrini negotiation money, perhaps. But I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't see that something that everybody's going to want.
I mean, there's other MLS teams that have done DP goalkeepers. I've always stood firm on. I think there's plenty of good American goalkeepers out there. Let's spend your DP money on a midfielder, defender, or forward. Somebody that's on that side of the field. But preferably it's somebody in the attack, right? That's what I like. I like to spend the money on. But he's being rumored, But then again, keep this in mind: we don't have a DP spot, so this goes back to renegotiating Pellegrini's contract or dumping somebody.
Right, and I don't think they're going to dump anybody. I think Higuain's going to be here. I don't think Pizarro's going anywhere.
Not unless somebody drives a Brinks truck up and backs up a boatload of cash. I mean, they spend a lot of money to get the guy, so they're going to want to at least make back, if not more. So they're not just going to let him go.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to go if the team lets him go. He's going to go to Europe, and that might be part of the the deal that they made with him. Sometime, okay, play with us for a couple of years, and we'll send you to Europe. And I had a couple conversations with a couple of people in Europe, and that's a possibility. He might not be going to a Barcelona or Real Madrid, but you could see him going to a Valladolid, Getafe, one of those Spanish teams that not as famous, but he'd still be playing in Europe, and that's what he wants. I'm sure he wants to play. He'd rather play in Europe than play in the Americas.
Isaiah Paskins says, Romero is a good player. I'll take him to challenge McCarthy and have him as someone for McCarthy to learn from. Yeah, but Isaiah, how do you make that work? You know, we don't have a DP spot, and he's going to want that kind of money. How do you make that work? What do you do, Isaiah? Do you do you think we're able to negotiate Pellegrini's contract down? Do you get rid of somebody and that you spent a bunch of money on? Or do you just swallow that money and just say, oh well, we just take an L. So I'm curious, Isaiah, how do you make that happen? Even if you think that's a good player, how do you actually make it happen? Eric Thomas says, why the hell would Inter Miami waste our money on a goalkeeper when we need left back, right back, center attacking mid, and a left winger? So
I was thinking about that left winger because I think on the right we're good with Morgan.
Oh, of course we are.
But we can't be doing everything on the.
Yeah, I still think you could put Pizarro on the left wing. So Isaiah feels that we have Pizarro, so we're good on the center attacking spot. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. One World, One Goal is asking, can we trade Pellegrini and Carranza or somebody to free up DPs? Well, it's not going to be just a flat-out trade because they spent some cash to get them, so they're going to want to recoup the whatever money they spent to buy the players. And if I remember correctly, they spent somewhere around what was it? Somewhere around 8 million, 6 to 8 million for each of those players. I think if I remember correctly, Pellegrini might have been 8 million and Carranza 6 million, something like that. They had to buy the players, right? So you're not just trading them.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be simple to get some more money for these guys.
Right.
They haven't done that well.
I asked Isaiah how he would make it happen. Here's his response: we could try to renegotiate Pellegrini's contract so that it's more of a prove it deal. Therefore, it's not a DP contract. Yeah, I mean that's your only option, right? We've been saying it for several weeks now, me and Ed, that they got to renegotiate that Pellegrini contract. So that's your only answer. And even then, you renegotiate his contract. Do you want to waste a DP spot on goalkeeper? I know some other people in this chat do not agree, but they agree with us and don't agree with Isaiah. Sorry, Isaiah. But all right, Jose Velasquez is saying put Pellegrini down. What, like a wounded animal? Are we supposed to shoot him?
We can't do that, man.
Like Old Yeller,
human being.
Didn't they shoot Old Yeller? Or are we going to put him down like Old Yeller?
I don't remember. It was such a long time ago.
I mean, it's an old movie. Yeah. All right, let's talk about something interesting and good that Inter Miami did, and that is Felipe Valencia. So Felipe Valencia was signed by the club from their academy. So he's Inter Miami's first pro. So he played with Fort Lauderdale last year. He's 15 years old, Ed. 15.
Wow, man. And he got a contract already.
15, and he signed
got a contract already.
A major league contract. So yeah, he's doing the whole Freddie Adu thing, right? But except they're not going to put that kind of pressure on him. Freddie Adu is 14, but this kid's 15. But so at 15 years old, Homestead resident. I think he came from Kendall soccer club over there before playing for the academy. And I know last year he did well. He made 12. Well, I think he scored 3 goals in 12 appearances. I think that's if Wikipedia is correct. But I know he scored. Man. I know they mentioned 2 goals for sure, but Wikipedia says he scored 3 in 12 games. So
that's what we get. Right? That's our source for just about everything. So I understand.
Now that's League One. That's a big difference between playing in MLS, but that's not bad. He's playing against men, and he's still a boy, right? He's still a boy playing against men, and he scored 3 goals, did well, and so hey, congratulations. What do you think, Ed, of Inter Miami signing somebody so young out of their academy?
I wish he would play on the first team, but I don't think it's probably going to happen. He's probably going to spend some more time on Fort Lauderdale CF just because he's young. And unless he starts tearing it up in that league, I don't think he's going to come up.
So you think they signed him with MLS, but they're still going to send him down to Fort Lauderdale? You think that's what happens?
They're still going to give him time. I think so. I don't know how long was his contract. Do you know?
Oh, I don't. No details that I could find about.
I
the
would
length of
imagine
the
it's
contract.
probably a 3-year deal. Maybe more, because he's young. And they want to make money off of him. But I think he needs some more playing time, and he's not going to get it with the first team. I don't see that happening.
Could he light it up though? I mean, could he be better than we know? I mean, what if this kid's like amazing? What if he's what we need on that wing? Because he's a winger. I'm not. What wing does he play on?
I hope it's left, because if it's,
I know one world
right
one goal
now,
watched a lot of Fort Lauderdale games. So if she knows, let us know.
Right. She knows what's up. Yeah, but if he's on the right, I don't think he's going to get any playing time with Morgan around.
No.
So that's why I'm thinking is he's probably going to stay with Fort Lauderdale CF and get some playing time and get out there and maybe they bring him up every so often if they need to. They could do that.
Well, here's what I would think: you sign him to the MLS contract because obviously you believe there's talent there and you want to grow that talent, but he could train. I mean, they all train in the same facility, right? So he could walk over to Inter Miami's field, train with the first team for most of the week. So he's getting first team training, see how he does, and if he's good enough, you put him in the lineup. If he's not, you give him at least maybe one day. Maybe you make that decision. Let's say the games are on Saturday. You make that decision, say by Wednesday or Thursday. So he plays up 2-3 days with the first team. Then if you make the decision that he's not going to make it to the first team bench, then you have him train with Fort Lauderdale so that he can actually play a game with the Fort Lauderdale squad. I imagine they could do something like that. I don't know all the rules when it comes to the sharing of players and stuff like that, but heck, they're using the same facility, so why not?
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what develops, Peter. I'm rooting for the kid, but in all reality, I don't think it's gonna.
Well,
the reason be a starter, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, okay. And the reason I say the shared training or what have you is because why if they could have just signed him to a Fort Lauderdale contract. Said you're out of the academy and you're now just a Fort Lauderdale CF contract. I mean, there's players that are just solely Fort Lauderdale players. They're not contracted by MLS. They're obviously trying to prove their worth and hopefully get there. But, they could have just gone ahead and signed. Unless you sign, and I'm thinking through all kind of, this is how my mind works. I'm just going in so many different directions all at the same time. I didn't think this through.
The wheels are turning.
I didn't think this through. But now as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, do you just sign him to the MLS so that you can keep him? Because you believe there is some real talent there in 2 or 3 years, so you sign him to the MLS deal just to lock him in. Because otherwise he could go to some other team, I don't know if he can go to some other MLS team, but he can go to some other country. He can get, now if he catches the eye of some, could there be some like foreign interest and they sign him real quick so that way they make more money on a sale?
That might be it. Somebody might be looking at him and saying, hey, we want that kid right there. He's, we think we could build him up to something better. And who knows, man? There's a lot of people out there looking at these kids playing. So there's a possibility that there's something in the works right now.
One world, one goal. As live is a joy to behold how his mind works. Love it. So watching my the steam coming out of my head as I'm thinking.
Yeah, man. And the hamsters running in circles and try to power that thing.
So One World, One Goal wants me to go to Inter Miami's Twitter to show the goal. I can't do that because the few times that we have posted videos on our show, we get a copyright claim. So there was one time where we didn't, but I don't want to take a chance. So
Right.
So we're not going to play the Twitter video, but everybody can go on Twitter and watch some of the highlights. I know there's plenty of highlights of the kid on the Inter Miami website, so go check them out there as well. But I like it. I like the fact that they're signing their youth. They believe in them. FC Dallas has made almost their entire team that way. FC Dallas has got such a low payroll, and that's because so many of their players come from their academy. They've got one of the best academies in the league, and that's how they've got a very young team, and they're still competitive. They haven't won a trophy with those kids, but they're still very competitive. And I think they sold one off recently, so there's definitely a lot of reasons to kind of just sign your youth and get them up and maybe they make it, maybe they turn into something, maybe they don't, but low risk. They're low risk. They're cheap. So
that's true.
All right, Ed. So a couple other just tidbits of things I wanted to just mention. Just I'm curious, so when we heard that Diego Alonso was possibly out, right? First thought is we need to throw all the money at Greg Vanney. Get Vanney here.
I saw that, and a lot of people were talking about it. We were talking about it because we thought it was a good fit, but I don't know.
But looks like LA Galaxy, which is going to sign him, is what it's looking like, that's no surprise. As soon as he lost or as soon as he left the Toronto gig, pretty much everybody in the world thought LA is where he's going to go. He played there. I think he's from that area. It just makes sense that he would go there, and he could have a little more control probably as well. So it's no surprise that he's going to head to LA Galaxy. But that was a coach that, look, I don't think there's any way that Inter Miami would have signed him because doesn't have that international cachet. They want to get some international kind of. You know who maybe they should have looked at? Look at what Atlanta United did, Ed. Did you see who Atlanta United hired?
Yeah, international one-time international player. He's a big name. That's something that our team wants to do, and that's. Before we got Alonso, that's what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And
Gabriel Heinze. Am I saying his last name correctly? Heinze is the way, right? I remember watching him as a player. He's a great player. I know he's done well as a coach as well. And that is the mold I think that Inter Miami was looking at getting. Why couldn't they nail him down?
Well, I guess. And he's Argentinian too, so Paul
Makes
McDonough should have had that one down. So, but sometimes they're just not available, or who knows. But if we're not going to have Alonso, that they do get have somebody in mind now, so we won't have to wait to the last minute and let what happened last season happen again.
Yeah, well, I think we're headed down that path for it happening again. But Gabriel Heinze is the kind of player that I'm kind of coach. I think that is definitely from everything I've read about. I remember as a player, I don't know much about him as a coach, but everything that I've read is he's a very similar coach and a similar mold as Tata Martino, and so that's. Atlanta United played around with this idea of becoming more European, and then they realized, oh, wait a minute, we built a South American root kind of team. We need to go back to that. And so now, you got to look at Atlanta United right off the bat I think, they're going to definitely be right back where they were. It'll be interesting.
Like Tata Martino, dude, forget about it. That's a hell of a coach. Yeah. He's doing well with Mexico as well.
Yeah.
So
can Gabriel Heinze have similar success? Do you think?
It could happen. I wouldn't put it beyond any doubt that he would be able to do well over here in Major League Soccer. But he does need somebody that's going to let him know, how this league works, and
that's Carlos Bocanegra. Carlos Bocanegra is in the front office. That's his job. Right, to know the MLS rules and to inform Heinze.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. Also, he's in this early, so he's got a lot of time still. we're the ones that are kind of hurting if we're going to lose Alonso.
Yeah, and at this point, like we talked a lot about whether or not they should keep Diego Alonso, and maybe he's lost the locker room at this point because he's a dead man walking, but you kind of need to keep him because you're behind the eight ball. You're late now. They want the season to still start in March. That's the plans for the season to start second week of March or third week of March. Something early to mid March is the hope. Obviously, nothing's concrete until the actual schedule's been put out. But I know that MLS is pushing for a March return. I know the union. I think it came out and said like, why so early, right? But that's what they're hoping for. So if he's gone, you better have somebody in lined up. Otherwise, I guess you just bring in Jason Kreis as a caretaker for the rest for a year.
It might have to happen, but maybe Jason Kreis could be the guy to do it.
He did well with Real Salt Lake, so he didn't do well in Orlando. But then again, nobody did until Clavijo. I almost said Clavijo, but
yeah.
Pareja.
Pareja.
Oscar Pareja. I said Clavijo just because somebody in here was mentioning Clavijo, and he worked at Dallas where Oscar Pareja was the coach of Dallas, so there's that connection. But anyways, Jose Velasquez is saying get rid of Diego, but we don't have time. Who are you going to put in his place? We don't have time.
That's the thing, right? We're running against time here, and we need them to start building this team already. And I thought, if none of this drama would have happened, Diego would have been the guy, to get the ball rolling.
All right, Ed. Speaking about time, our time is about up. I know that people in the chat were having a lot of fun tonight. Thank you, everybody that was in the chat. It sounded like there was somebody where I was even asking if this is a comedy club here in the chat. So it sounds like they were having some fun. I don't always see everything that's going into the chat because I got to look down and my camera's up here. So, but looks like you guys were having some fun in the chat. So thanks so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. And maybe next time we won't talk that much about Star Wars, Peter.
Well, unless if there's drama with Inter Miami, then obviously we will have a lot to talk about. But if there's not any exciting, interesting drama, well, we could talk Star Wars. It could be Star Wars, the Star Wars episode. I've got plenty of Star Wars T-shirts I could throw on. Well, this is one.
That's it.
But anyways. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. And make sure, if you have any last-minute Christmas gifts, to go and head out to Caneswear and Davie and knock on that door and get yourself some good Inter Miami gear. Tons of Canes gear, too. I know they've got some Miami Hurricane Christmas-type T-shirts, too. So any last-minute gifts, go to Caneswear. And everybody, thanks so much for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the show, and we'll do this again next week. Bye, everybody.